and I would like to lead it off by giving you the opportunity, if you want to respond to some of the questions that Senator Sullivan raised that you may not have had a chance to respond to earlier. If you want to take that opportunity, it's yours.
I'm not sure that there was much new to add. As I was trying to say to the senator, I mean, I think basically on the issues of carbon capture and sequestration, which is obviously something that we talked a little bit about, and how that is an important part of the president's agenda, and how we are approaching that issue. I think I don't know that there's new things to say on that. I think what we're trying to do is to make sure that we invest in the technology and conduct it in a way that we are not harming people who are living near or are close to related facilities, and that is as important a consideration as everything else in the planning. And so that is really the main point that I was trying to reflect.
All right. I'm not going to dwell on carbon capture sequestrations, which is something that I'm strongly interested in, as are other Democrats and Republicans. I would note that the issue of regenerative agriculture. In my state, we raise a lot of chickens, a lot of soybeans, a lot of corn, a lot of lima beans and stuff. And we're always concerned about overdevelopment in our state. We have these beautiful beaches in southern Delaware, and there's a lot of interest, people to live in southern Delaware, and they want to, developers want to overdevelop southern Delaware. So we're always looking for ways to keep farmers on the land, and one of the ways to do that is to make sure they have greater income by having more fertile soil, and regenerative agriculture is something we're hugely interested in, as are the farmers. And so I would just share that with you. We'll come back later on and talk about it. Okay. My next question would be, last month the Columbia Journal of Environmental Law published a study on NEPA's implementation at the U.S. Forest Service. The study reviewed I think, over 40,000 NEPA decisions completed by the U.S. Forest Service between 2004 and 2020, over 40,000 decisions by the U.S. Forest Service between those years, and uncovered that one of the biggest hurdles to quick or timely environmental reviews is lack of agency resources. And contrary to popular belief, less rigorous analysis does not actually lead to faster decision times. However, not having the right staff or sufficient resources to conduct NEPA reviews leads to slower decision times. This means the past administration's efforts to starve federal agencies of staff and resources did not make reviews move faster. It actually made the delays worse, not better. My question, do these findings surprise you? And what are you and others in the administration doing to ensure that the federal government has the resources and staff to conduct environmental reviews in a timely manner?
So thank you, Senator, for that question. No, I guess it doesn't surprise me, having been a career staff person in the federal government for 14 years before I took on my first political position. I think what we know is that agencies are going to work to whatever you establish for them as the goal, and what gets cut is the quality of what gets done. And that is why I think we are trying in the action plan, one of the key pillars of that is to try to make sure that the agencies are assessing what their needs are and deploying the staff in places that are necessary, or at least working as a federal team to try to help each other, if you will, like to work in a way that we help each other so that the resources that are necessary in order to conduct the whatever is necessary for the permitting is available. And that is part of having the leadership in regular interaction around our permitting progress.
All right, second question. Given that this involves state and local governments, given that state and local agencies implement so many federal programs, what guidance, technical assistance, and support do you anticipate providing to our partners at the state and local level with permitting action plan? And in your answers, if you can clarify something for me, I'd be grateful. In the action plan and recent rulemaking, did CEQ roll back any of the timelines for decision making? to roll back into the timelines for decision making? And also, are the changes intended to delay the investments we're making in the bipartisan infrastructure law? I don't think that's the case, but I'd like to hear from you directly on this issue, please.
Yeah. So first of all, on the action that we just took recently, it was 3 very targeted actions that did not affect the timelines or the one federal decision process or any of the kind of, in some ways, efforts that were specifically efficiency focused. That was not covered in our most recent rule. I think on the question about the resources and what we need to do there, the action plan itself is designed to help us or make the connections with the state and local entities who are very active in actually implementing the rules. It does not say what specifically we're going to do, but we identify that as an area in which we have to get together with preferably like a national level bodies that are coming from cities, like the League of City Voters. That's not the right name. That work kind of at a that work at a level where they're representative of both states. ECOS is an example of a body that we would envision kind of creating a relationship with that to help figure out how we can best work together with states, because we can improve our part, but our part is only one part. We can get the funding necessary to do our part, but then ultimately for a lot of the projects, it's really important that the state and local entities be able to also do their part.
All right. We've just been joined by Senator Wicker, and I'm willing to, and prepared to yield to him if he and Senator Sullivan are okay with that. Let me ask another unanimous consent request of my colleagues. I ask unanimous consent to submit for the record a congressional research report entitled "The Role of the Environmental Review Process in Federally Funded Highway Projects, Background and Issues for Congress." That's a mouthful. Which concludes that environmental reviews mandated by NEPA do not result in infrastructure projects delays when early stakeholder engagement is part of the project planning process. And I think I should yield to Senator Wicker.